But we do know, most importantly for the market, that the Fed is likely to cut interest rates at its next meeting. Joining us now to discuss all things markets is the president and founder of Crown Wealth Strategies, Lizzie Metzger. Lizzie, thanks for joining us today. So let's just start with what you make of the market right now, right? Record highs. What kind of concerns are you hearing from some of your clients?
Right. So it's interesting because it's almost a too good to be true scenario. The record highs are here. People are very concerned. I think they're waiting for kind of the ball to drop. They see the trade tensions. They see the Fed making corrections. And so that really is the concern. And I think that since 2007, 2008, people are kind of looking around the corner to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Well, and I just want to ask from that perspective, like, do you feel that clients haven't gotten over that? And I mean, I think we talk a lot on the couch about how, there's all these studies, right? Millennials aren't buying enough stocks. Millennials aren't doing enough this, that, the other. But it's not just millennials, right? You have people in their 50s who have basically no allocation to stocks. And it's like, you're not going to be able to retire unless you have an allocation to stocks.
Hello.
But everyone is still waiting for the next financial crisis, even though hopefully there won't be another one in all of our lifetimes.
Right. And look, in all reality, the market is going to go down again sometime in our lifetime.
No. I mean, it did. It did in the fourth quarter. It went down 20%.
Yeah. Oh, my God, look at last year. And so the reality is, though, that people who have been able to sustain and be long-term in the market have been able to get gains from that. So when we work with our clients, it's really about proper asset allocation and proper goals-based investing. If you want me to throw 100,000 in and get it back next year at 200,000, we're going to have a problem, right? But having that real life, realistic conversation is really what I think the value of financial advisors can really give to their clients now.
Lizzie, we've had a number of guests come on our live shows in the last few weeks and try to say here and there, everyone is paying too much attention to the Fed, making too much of it. But clearly at this point, well, you're wrong, because the Fed has replaced the trade war as sort of the topic du jour and the thing that is juicing markets, the assumption of not only one cut coming, but maybe two. Some people think maybe three in 2019. Just what do you make of how sort of Jay Powell has inadvertently become, sorry to say, but the sort of oarsman of market sentiment right now?
That's right. So we never had a Fed that was so activist as, of course, it had to be with the recession. So now they're trying to kind of back themselves out of this problem, and they have a hard time doing it. So unfortunately, we're at a point where the markets are going to be swayed by a tiny little change in the Fed. And it's interesting because you hear the testimony the other day, and you have this great growth trajectory, but then they're like, but we're going to drop rates.
Right.
So what is that telling the consumer? It's the problem that I see every day, that uncertainty and fear really makes up a lot of what consumer sentiment and activities are.
I'm so interested in the macro picture of wealth management and financial advising. You are based in El Paso, Texas, and I'm curious about even your client base, the makeup there, and what they're really looking from you. Because are we talking about very high net worth folks, or are we talking about folks who do have robo-advisors like Betterment and then are using you to supplement their existing portfolio?
Right. So it's interesting because I've written a lot about this. When I got in the industry, there's a lot of, hey, there's not going to be financial advisors anymore. It's all going to be replaced by the robos. And I wrote it just came out actually, I wrote an article in Financial Advisor magazine saying that if you're an advisor that's focusing on how you're going to do stock and bond allocation, you're missing the mark. People do not need you to tell them to be 60% stocks and 40% bonds. I can go to Vanguard.com and get that right now. What they need is true advice. They need really goals-based investing, where you say, what is it that you're trying to achieve? What's the time frame, and how do we work with you? So we work with clients, in all reality, is because we have a relatively big firm. So we have clients that are, your teacher, your math teacher, to clients that have $50, $100 million businesses. And at the end of the day, what's funny is that everyone has the same problems. They want to prepare themselves better. They want to have greater assets to weather storms. And they want to know what to do with volatility and how to act. And the future of advising is is really to work on that holistic wealth management and financial planning rather than to go and say this is the hot stock.
Right,
and some a lot of humans.
Yeah,
and it's don't just do something. Sit
exactly.
There, right?
And some of those alternative assets you're talking about are munis, life insurance. We're talking outside of traditional assets that we talk about daily.
So unfortunately, I think in the world of financial advice, you have advisors, right, that have a fiduciary standard. We've talked about, that's been really big in the market. And then you have a lot of people that unfortunately are really only selling one product or the other. And sorry,
no, maybe I was saying Bitcoin.
Oh, Bitcoin!
We get a lot of people running around.
I know. Why don't we just all invest in Bitcoin? We'd be okay. We wouldn't even been sitting here. No, but unfortunately, that's the problem. And so when we came in, the philosophy is let's be agnostic to products, right? Let's look at you holistically. And yeah, we're looking at a lot of safe harbors. Munis are an interesting one, even though they've kind of gone crazy up, so I don't know if there's a lot of deals to be had there. And we do use life insurance as a bond replacement, as a buffer asset. So when we're looking at an overall portfolio, we're blending that in with the more aggressive stocks, which they should have, which a lot of times they don't even want to do that. Yeah. So it's an interesting deal, but holistic wealth management, I think, is really the future of people who want to stay in this industry.
All right, Lizzie Metzger, Crown Wealth, thanks for joining us.
Nice to be here. Thank you so much.
Thanks.